Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming back my good friend Lynne Griffin, who's been on the show many times. I'm having her back on today. She's going to talk about her newest project. And I'm going to tell her about, my trip to LA a couple weeks ago and my upcoming stuff. And we're just going to have a conversational piece like we have done the last couple of times. It's going to be pretty good. Lynne is a sweetheart, and she's very funny. So, yeah, here is my new interview, with Lynne Griffin.
Hello.
Hey, Lynne.
Hi, Tommy.
How you doing?
Sorry, I'm a bit late.
Oh, it's okay. It's not that much.
Good. No, Sean took the car, and I was at rehearsal, so I had to take the subway home.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a little longer.
Yeah. It's okay, though.
Good.
How'd rehearsal go?
It went very well, actually. Yeah. It's working with a new and different director on a play, so it's always, you're sizing each other up to begin with.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was very good and fun and, no hardship. A little confusion, but no hardship.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I got some great stuff coming up.
Yeah, tell me.
Well, let's see. This Saturday, I will be filming the first episode, and maybe the only episode, it depends, of my own horror hosting movie show.
Wow.
Yeah,
like you're hosting it, but it's on camera?
Yeah, we're going to do it for the internet.
Cool.
Got some friends together who are all on the same page, and we're going to film it. I've been wanting to do this for like a year now, and finally going to happen.
That's great.
Actually, 2 years. Now that I think of it, we were going to do it at one point last year, but then my friend who's quote unquote producing it, he went into surgery, and so we had to postpone it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be so different than any horror show ever. It's going to be politically incorrect. Are you surprised?
As per.
Yeah.
That's the way we like it. Yeah.
Yep. And it's going to be just really, really funny, I think.
Oh, good. Funny is good. Funny and irreverent is good.
Mm-hmm. And
so were you just talking to somebody else?
No.
No. Oh, okay. So I haven't thrown your schedule off completely.
Oh no, it's not until 2:30.
Okay, good. Cool.
Yeah. And then couple weeks. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Tell me what else is happening.
A couple weeks ago, I was in LA, and I was there for the horror convention, Monsterpalooza, and had a great time there. And I met up with many guests from the podcast, and a director that I interviewed. He offered me a part in his movie. Yeah.
And did you accept? I hope.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know how serious he was about it, though, because he didn't even have the script or nothing.
Well, I've had these funniest experiences lately because I kind of put it out into the universe that I wanted to do some short horror films, and amazingly enough, they're coming to fruition, and it was just sort of a seed that I planted out there. I think I probably talked to you about it too, because I said, one was that I wanted to play, the sweet little lady next door who's a serial killer.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? But you plant the seed, and I just literally put it on Facebook as one of my on my bucket list. So now somebody just sent me a script.
Nice.
So I never know how serious they are, but there was one I think that I shot this last weekend, which was just literally, came out of someone who had met me at a horror convention, and then they raised all the money to do it, and we shot it this weekend. So
Oh,
it can
great.
happen.
Yeah. This guy, he made a movie for Amazon Prime called American Warfighter. It's about post-traumatic stress disorder after coming back from the war. And it got picked up by Mark Wahlberg for theatrical distribution.
Wow.
Yeah.
It must be pretty good then.
Yeah, and this movie is about the mob, and he thinks I could play a mobster. I don't think I look like one at all, but I'll take it.
Yeah, why not? It's always fun to play against type.
Yeah.
Hence me as the serial killer.
Yeah.
Not your average, I guess. Not one you would suspect.
Yeah, I just wonder what I'll look like, though.
Yeah, but they can do wonders with costumes and makeup,
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give you, like, I don't know, a scar or something. Like a nasty scar and maybe an eye patch. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I got so much good stuff happening.
That's really great, though. Because you were sort of, like, a while back there, I thought, oh, are you kind of going to try and pack it in, maybe not keep doing the podcast? And so I was glad when I saw, it's ongoing and things are even, blossoming from that.
Well, the podcast is going to go on hiatus because I'm going to be moving out to LA for a trial run this summer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, see if I can get stuff done and stuff. And I mean, when I do move out there permanently, I do plan on starting an on-camera podcast, but we'll see, where it takes me. But yeah, in the meantime, I still got this.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I just had a friend from here. Well, the two of them have relocated in LA, and I was really worried about them because I thought, I'm judging from my own experience, which is now 20 years ago, that they might not be able to, because, they're not like 21 anymore. They're like in their 30s, and I was just worried that they may find it difficult. But, I mean, the reports that I'm getting from them, they absolutely love it, and mainly because the counterculture there and because they're very much into horror film, because I made a horror film with them, and, dark stuff, spooky stories, scary stuff, nightmare stuff. They found an enormous kind of, like, group of like individuals in LA, which really surprised me because, when I was there, everybody wanted to make a sitcom and everyone wanted to be on, and now there's so much stuff that's being produced independently.
Yeah. That
they really found, like, they were, like, really surprised and delighted at how many, like, souls they found.
Mm-hmm.
In LA.
Yeah. Yeah, it's become really independent and all about television now,
Yeah. I think it's good.
The theatrical movies, though, need to be saved because I still love going to the theaters.
Well, yeah, but, the thing is, like, even your friend who did this one and now it's been picked up. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going that way and having something then get distribution and be in theaters, but it's nice that people have the ability to, get an idea, grab it, raise a little money, grab a crew, and actually make it, as opposed to waiting for some studio to give you a green light.
Yeah. Yeah, the development deals and stuff, that's been antiquated.
Yeah. But I think much more interesting stuff is coming out of it because of that. And just, even the stuff you're seeing on Netflix and on Amazon and stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Much more interesting stories and much more interesting series. And they've all got, because I guess there is the same sort of censorship or that they can, push the envelope a little more.
Yeah, do you think, I've been very critical about a lot of new stuff these days, but do you think, though, that so much you see now, it's just too fast-paced, they don't give enough thought and detail to the story?
Well, I don't No, I'm very, very selective in what I choose to watch,
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm really one of those people that if I hear good buzz about it, then I'll watch it. But, there's such a glut. It's so hard to choose what you're going to watch unless you had, like-minded souls recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to only go on very positive recommendations, and that's what I'll watch. But I don't, and certainly the opposite is true. If somebody really trashes something, I won't watch it.
Yeah.
But, I'm not talking critics. I'm talking like friends, people that I really, feel that I share common likes and dislikes with.
Yeah. Yeah, I just find it, I don't know, I'm watching certain things and I'm just going, God, it seems like, they're rushing to get out of the room, They need to, talk slower and just bring more to the plot,
Well, I will admit to hating the mumbling.
Mm-hmm.
Mumbling, very fast and mumbled, and I'm going, like, half the time I'm looking at it going, I guess I better turn off the volume, because I don't even know what they just said or what the scene was about.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know whether the naturalism has gone a little too far. I don't know. What was the one that I was watching? Oh, damn. Oh, and I really lost interest in it, because the leading character was a black actor. I couldn't understand him. And he was mumbling, and it was soft, and it was, terribly, terribly naturalistic, right? But I went, was it True Detective?
True Detective?
The recent True Detective.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of lost interest in it. But, okay, and yet other things I'll watch. You know what's really funny?
Huh.
Just started watching Orphan Black again from the very beginning,
mm-hmm.
and it really holds up. And it's like, yeah, that was good storytelling. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I just think that, they could bring more attention to the plot and just, talk slower, because I watched the old stuff and I'm like, this was so great, and I know today people's attention spans are really short, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's time to make it long again.
Yeah, it's time to make them pay attention. But I think that's terrific. Yeah, because what? If there isn't a plot, and if your actors aren't good enough to really speak it clearly, and everything's being rushed, lots and lots of fast cuts into different things. I think that was what was wrong with True Detective too, because it kept going back into different points in time, and yet the actor, maybe they grayed his hair a little bit, but I was finding it hard to follow. Like when we were in the present, when we were talking about the past, and now are we talking about a different past? So, yeah, and it wasn't a very, a linear, not that I'm, crazy about having absolute linear storylines, but it jumped around so much, I was kind of finding it hard to follow. And I was going, he doesn't seem like he's that much older, but obviously this is him coming back and, reliving, going through a case. I don't know. Anyway, I stopped watching it.
So last week I had a really great 2.5 hour conversation with Susan Barnes.
I know. I went to start to listen to it, and I didn't quite have 2.5 hours free, so I had to stop. But I looked at it and went, wow, you talked for 2.5 hours? Holy crap! Anyway, so I will set aside, or I will listen to it in hour increments or something at one point. But it's funny because I saw it was up, and I guess it was like first thing in the morning. I hadn't started all the things I had to do during the day. And I went, I'll just listen to this. And, I'm sure I've got, an hour or so. Oh, my God. I'll have to tune in when I've got more time.
Yeah. Her and I, we related to each other very well. And I told her, about everything I've been through and stuff. She told me everything she's been through.
Yeah.
You know, and she loved my jokes too.
Yeah, she's a great one. Yeah, we remained friends. I mean, we lost touch for a while when I moved away.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know why. I guess we reconnected on Facebook, and then I knit her a whole bunch of hats. Did she tell you that?
Yeah.
She wanted all, the Me Too movement bushy hats she wanted. So, and she wanted them for all her friends. So I was knitting her hats. Anyway, she's a brilliant photographer too. Have you seen any of her work? Did she talk about that?
I haven't. No, she didn't talk about photography.
Oh man, because she's really good.
Yeah, I plan on calling her again and talking to her, eventually. Yeah. Then I'll ask her about that.
Right. Did she remember the play we did together at the Old Gold?
Of course, because I asked her. I said, "So how do you know Lynne Shaw?" And she told me about the play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did she ever tell you that the other actresses in the play, no names mentioned, actually locked us out of the dressing room once? It was really funny. I don't know.
No, she didn't mention that story. I want to hear it though.
No, she was just kind of nuts, and I don't know why, but I think she was. I don't know whether she was into some kind of, talk therapy or something, or what she was going on about. But she got Susan trapped in the dressing room to try. I don't know whether she was trying to do some kind of self-help thing on Susan, who needs it like a hole in the head. But she locked the door and we were in a dressing room, the three girls together, and I came to come to the dressing room and make a costume change, and the door was locked, and I'm pounding on the door, and Susan's kind of saying, "Yeah, help me, let me out of here." John, that's got me trapped in the dressing room. Anyway, I love her. I love Susan Burge. The other lady calmed down after that, but she had a crazy moment there for a while.
Yeah, it sounded like it, but she had such a great career. I mean, she was in so much great stuff, for 20,
oh my God.
for 30 years.
She's one of those actresses that you want to. You know how they have those awards? They have a special award for people who do the best, under 5.
Yeah.
They only have 5 lines, but they're so memorable with those 5 lines. She should win that award over and over again. Because she makes, she really makes an impact on screen. And I've seen her in things since, and I've gone, and so much that I didn't know. She doesn't talk about her stuff. She doesn't blow her own horn when I was with her. So I didn't know some of the background of, all of the stuff she's been in. It's incredible. It's great.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us talked about anything like that. We were just kind of liking each other as to we were at that moment when we were together and working together. It was really fun.
Yeah, she had great stories about, being discovered by George Papard while she was doing a play in Arkansas. Yeah.
Oh.
It's amazing.
Well, believe me, I will listen to the entire interview.
Yeah, I mean, 6 months ago, I interviewed another friend of yours, and that was a little challenging. Teddy Moore.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea that she had MS, and I've interviewed 3 people overall who have MS, and I have found them all to be really cool in the beginning, and then they become belligerent and bitter as time wears on.
Okay, this is really interesting because I thought I knew Teddy well. She's never told me she had MS.
Yeah, and she's been on.
That's really interesting that you say that, Tommy, because I haven't seen her on auditions lately.
Yeah.
And usually we're always on auditions together.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a secret, but she told me.
Yeah.
And I will say this though, she was really funny, during the first half, and oh my God, okay, so it's funny. I had a little crush on her as the teacher in A Christmas Story.
Right.
Yeah, and she let me tell her about a sexual fantasy I had about her. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I told her that I always wanted a blowjob from Miss Shields. right? And she told me when she was young, she gave great blowjobs.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Now you know more about her than I do now.
Yeah. Well, it didn't go that far, but yeah.
I'm not. This is all completely vaulted. The next time I see Teddy, I won't say, "Hey, I heard this about you. I heard you used to give great blowjobs." I'm not going to say that to her, but I'm going to think it.
Yeah, she got a little bit strange there towards the end, and like I tried to tell her this joke, and she like cut me off because she thought the setup was offensive and not the punchline.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of sad, but
yeah, well,
you know, I'm glad at least I did it.
Oh yeah,
I did the interview, but
yeah, exactly. Well, sometimes I guess some interviews end up being shorter than others.
Oh, we had a long interview. It was like an hour.
Yeah.
It wasn't that short, but it was short that, she was, one way and then another.
Yeah.
The first person that I interviewed with multiple sclerosis was David Lander, who played Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He made me so uncomfortable, like, within 10 minutes. Like, in 5 minutes after that, I was just like, thanks for talking, It was sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of history with it. I mean, I have a friend who's lost her sister to cystic fibrosis, but my agent, one of my first agents in LA had multiple sclerosis and then had to kind of give it up. And it was becoming really noticeable. A really beautiful woman too. She was very beautiful, but yeah, she had to just sort of, retire early, and I don't know ever what happened to her in the end. But that was sad because she was having difficulty walking and everything that happened. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Richard Pryor, even when he got into the wheelchair, he did stand up until, he reached a certain point. He was still doing it at the Comedy Store when he was, like, at his most, crippled in that wheelchair,
What a story. I just watched that documentary on him.
I want to see it.
Oh, man. What a life. I mean, and, so respected as a comedian. Like, really, like, top of the heap.
Oh, they all call him the king.
Yeah. Yeah, the documentary's really good. It's kind of sad at the end, but, just dealing with, throwing yourself on fire, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Not so, yeah. But interesting, just the stories that you hear of people and the hardships that they go through.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all success and wondrous fame all the time.
Yeah. I reached out to his widow, and I haven't heard back from her, but I had heard her on a podcast where she was promoting the documentary. She talked for 90 minutes about his life and career. So much stuff I had never even knew, and it was just amazing. But I reached out to her, though, because I wanted to talk about his movie career, because I don't know too much about, all of it. I know about certain things about it.
Right. But she was interviewed quite extensively in the documentary.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe she's, I don't know when you tried to reach out to her, but
just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, well, never know. Just be patient.
Yeah. And wait, where'd you see the documentary?
I think it was on HBO.
Okay, so I'll check my on-demand and see if it's on there.
I'm sure it was on HBO. It was like, one of the, every now and then they'll have like a special documentary on a television personality or a movie star or something. Because I had watched one. What was the other one? What was it? Oh, I watched one on Sammy Davis Jr. as well.
Oh.
Maybe it was Black History Month. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta check that one out too.
Yeah,
Love,
that was good too.
love Sammy. There's nobody like Sammy.
No, and again, you go, these people who overcome such incredible, well, even like yourself, my darling,
Mm-hmm.
who overcome like really serious issues, either accidents or health issues, and they just rebound and keep going. Him the same. I mean, you go, okay, he's up and coming as a performer, and all of a sudden he's a car accident and he's off. Does it stop him? No.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I know a couple people I've talked to the last few days on the podcast were just amazed by that. The funny thing is, I did 3 podcasts in one day last week, or was it 4? Yeah, maybe it was 4. I did a lot that day. I was so tired by the end of the day, and not one of them talked about my accident, and that's a record for me.
And was that a good thing or not?
I think it's.
I mean, how did that? I mean, what? I don't know how much you share and how you share and who you choose to share with.
It's.
I imagine there's some people that you go, oh, I don't want to really talk to them about it.
Yeah, oh yeah. There's
not.
Yeah, there's people like that. There's people that I don't want to talk to about and stuff. But I think on a subconscious level, it is a good thing that I didn't bring it up. I'll tell you, when I was in LA with my mom a couple weeks ago, we met up with a lot of my guests, and we had breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything together.
Right.
And my mom embarrassed me a lot. And my mom has been doing this since she was in high school. My mom likes to talk about herself. She likes to make it all about her, And I'm glad that I never picked up that habit from her. And so I think on a subconscious level, maybe it's better that I'm not talking about the accident as much anymore. Otherwise, I turn into my mother.
Oh, God, I know. See, my mother, on the other hand, never really talked about herself, but she would embarrass me by talking about me in front of me to other people. And, sometimes things that are, fairly private. I mean, I think she once said, it was on the opening night of some show I was doing, and she met up with the actor who was playing opposite me. And I think she said to him something like, you two really, I mean, it really works, the chemistry between you two on stage, considering that Lynne doesn't really like you.
What?
Right there. Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
That's terrible.
I know. But, she was, everybody loved my mom. I thought she was so adorable. Sometimes I wanted to pull her hair out.
Well, luckily, all these people liked my mom, but they could see how much I was suffering.
Oh, God. Isn't it terrible? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just my mom had a bad childhood, and my grandmother wouldn't let her go to L.A. when she got a scholarship at UCLA to be a dancer and try out for the Dean Martin show and all the stuff that happened to her.
Yeah.
And so she's always trying to find, that one person who will let her make up for that. And she just at 65 now, it's not going to happen, Mom. I'm it for you. I'm the one that's going to make you successful.
Right.
know?
See, well, we have sort of similar. That's kind of similar with my mom because, I mean, she was an actress, then she became an agent. And I always felt that, the pursuit of my own career was very much monitored by her, and not only that, I was living out some of the dreams that she had for herself that she never fulfilled. And it's hard.
Yeah.
Because I think she would have liked to have kept acting, but she became an agent because my dad died and she had to support us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe a missed opportunity or, I don't know. I mean, Yeah, it's hard to say because I wish he was around to see what was happening now, but just because things are different. And, back in those days, I mean, when she became an agent, she became my agent.
Right.
So, I mean, I remember sitting once in the office with her, and some actress had called up and said to her, I haven't had an audition in a month or more. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I heard her say to this girl, you haven't had an audition. Well, Lynne hasn't had an audition, and she's the best actress in Canada. And I'm like, Mom, God, this girl's going to, run from your agency so fast. You talk to people like that? Oh, my God. You're not supposed to have any sort of, preference. She did, and she would say things like that, and, I'd shrink into the wallpaper and try not to be noticed.
Many people would agree with your mom. I've talked to a lot of people.
Hey, now, I wasn't begging for a compliment.
It's true, though. Susan just posted a picture of these shoes that were really cute. They were like white shoes, and they had like this design. They looked like sprinkles you'd get on ice cream.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably... Is it on Facebook?
On Facebook, yeah, and there's pink edges around the shoes.
I'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
Because, I'm always looking at the things she posts. That's so sweet, though, that you talk to her. It's kind of fun to hear, because, I think we were trying to get together again, on my whirlwind trips to either San Diego or LA. Mm-hmm. And I try and hook up with friends, and then, the family situation in San Diego is such that I go, I don't have time to maybe make it and hook up with some friends that I would really like to, and she's certainly one of them. Because when I was making her all these hats, I said, why don't I just deliver them to you? Of course, she's not in L.A., right? Where is she now?
Oh, she's back in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So I don't think I've ever been there to Pennsylvania.
Really?
The likelihood of us crossing paths unless she gets herself to L.A. is probably pretty slim.
Or if she comes to Canada.
Or if she comes to Canada, but it's really a lot harder to get people to come to Canada.
Yeah.
You would think that I moved here on purpose so that I didn't have to see anybody anymore. But it's hard because so many of my friends are in LA,
right,
or San Diego, and I haven't been back in a while. Of course, right now Sean's dad is really not well. I mean, he's in his 90s, but we were doing this workshop 2 weeks ago, and his sister wrote and said, the doctor has kind of said we have to settle whatever, make the final decisions about Dad, and he was like, what? And then I don't know whether he was having congestive heart failure. I mean, he's old, bless him, but all of a sudden, Sean thought he was going to have to just get up and leave this workshop of his play that, he's starring in, and we were all, worried, and then I guess now, he's sort of stabilized, although they're still saying, maybe you should come sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, we might try and get down there in May still, or Sean definitely probably should. Because I start a job out of town in June, and I won't be able to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Not maybe Sean. Anyway, that's a side note, but I don't really know what got me onto that. But just that, we realized when, we were talking to the family how long it's been since we've actually visited. Because we didn't go this past Christmas. It's been a long time.
I know. I was hoping to meet you guys, this past Christmas and stuff.
Yep. And we ended up not going just because, we were doing our Christmas show here right up until the 23rd of December. And so that's all. It's always hard because, work has to take the priority, but at the same time, when you're going, family situations like that, I looked at Sean and I said, go. You have to go. And then just stabilize. So, but I'm still saying to him, I think you should still go, like sometime in the next few weeks. Mm-hmm. Just while he's still kind of copacetic before he, like, maybe, because, at this point, his sister is saying every time she visits him, he's asleep. So, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. Do you ever see Mark Singer around Canada?
Do I ever see him?
Yeah.
No, but Sean knows him well.
Really?
But I don't know if Sean. Not well enough that they hang out, but I think they might be friends on Facebook. I think.
Yeah, I was watching this movie he did back in the early '80s on YouTube that I hadn't seen in a long, long time called "If You Can See What I Hear," where he played Tom Sullivan, the blind musician.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I kind of remember that.
It's a great movie, and a lot of critics, lambasted it because they talk about his college days, and there was just like too much comedy and not enough drama in it. I think it's a well put together biopic, for the most part, and it's a Canadian film,
Oh. Yeah, I kind of have a vague memory of it.
It's also got Sherry Belafonte.
Did you see it now? Like, were you able to find it online?
I found it on YouTube, yeah. And some guy uploaded it from an old VHS. He taped it off of HBO, and the previews on HBO are at the beginning and end of the upload.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was in the summer of '83, which was when I was born.
And when I just finished doing Strange Brew, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was, I'm trying to get in touch with Sherry Belafonte to be on the podcast. I want to ask her about that movie.
Right.
And stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I think I did see it back in the day. I did. Because it's sounding very familiar.
Mm-hmm. And my grandmother loved Mark Singer because she used to watch him on Dallas.
Well, he was a handsome devil.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of, what do you call it? Boy next door way?
Yeah. A rugged boy next door.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Sean worked with him, like, way back in the days when he was working at the Old Globe. Because Mark Singer did actually a few plays at the Old Globe, which is, that's where Sean and I met. So I think that's how their connection stayed. I don't know. Interesting to ask Sean, though.
Yeah. I mean...
Not sure right now.
I know.
He's at work. He's rehearsing with Randy teenagers, rehearsing his Shakespeare stuff. They're doing a presentation on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. And guess who also has to go and watch it? Me. Yeah. Anyway, that's okay. Having quite a time with them, evidently. Because, they've been doing this project, and this is like something that they volunteered for to be part of this school, and they get credit for it, scholasticism. But now he's like, they're getting down to the final rehearsals, and it's like, I can't come today. I have softball practice. He's pulling his hair out. That's literally he has left. I never said that.
Oh, man. Randy teenagers, huh?
Well, they're of that, I guess, like high school age. I don't know what they are, 15, 16, 17.
Oh, God, I'll tell you.
They're doing Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
They probably don't understand half of what it's all about, but...
Yeah.
Because who does? Anyway.
I'll tell you, the teenagers here drive me crazy in Reading. I will not miss them when I'm in L.A.
Well, yeah, every now and then, I say to Sean every now and then when he comes home, like in a state about it, I'll say, see, this is why we didn't have any kids. Because that's what they grow into.
Yeah, because over here, all the teenagers in my apartment complex go to the local Christian cult / school, and they're always, talking about, God and stuff, but I know they're doing stuff behind the scenes. I've even seen a few of them drinking at the swimming pool, and they're not supposed to do that. Yeah.
So, the holier than thou Christians who, I know. I know. I just find too that age now. It's so wonderful when you find, a teenager, if you're teaching them, that they're actually interested and not completely apathetic about everything.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
They got all this internet access and they don't use it because they don't care.
Well, yeah, that's just, I don't know. I mean, they just have sort of this lack of enthusiasm and zest for learning. It's like, I don't know. And that's not, that's just real generalization because, every now and then, and Sean will admit, there's a couple of kids in his group that are fantastic and are like completely committed and know all their lines and they know what they're saying and they really want to make it work. And then, there's the majority of them that are, trying to sneak watching or playing with their cell phones under the desk while you're trying to teach them.
Yeah. Oh my God. I met this one kid. He was probably about 20 years old, at least, in L.A. He was at Monsterpalooza, and we were going to this panel. Him and his girlfriend were there. They're both about 20, and we're going to go see this panel that has Eileen Dietz, who played Pazuzu in The Exorcist, and I had just interviewed her the week before. So he was like, trying to be all nice to me and talk to me so he could maybe get her autograph, right? Well, as it turned out, after the thing was over, there was going to be a free autograph signing afterwards, which we didn't know about. But he was just trying to sweet talk me into getting her autograph. I was like, I don't know her. I just interviewed her. She was on at first she was on kind of a power trip when I approached her and said hi and stuff. But then she was all nice when she was signing autographs and stuff and telling my mom that I'm a great interviewer and all that. It's just teenagers, they are young millennials these days, they do that kind of stuff.
Listen to us. We sound like these old codgers. Oh, those millennials.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. I find it a lot, but I just go... And yet, so many of our friends and the people that we work with are millennials, so it always surprises us when they seem to be so committed, and then all of a sudden they'll be like an hour and a half late and just kind of show up and go, the alarm didn't go off. You're like, okay.
Oh, I did a Facebook status about that recently.
Probably your alarm is on your cell phone.
Yeah, I did a Facebook status about that recently, about how they're just irresponsible, and they just, you send them a text message or something, they laugh at it and talk shit about you to the person that they're with, and they just ignore you. And I've seen that happen a lot over here.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, well, half the people that we work with, I'm sure, think we're crazy, too. This crazy old couple doing all these absolutely outrageous, strange projects.
I think it's wonderful what
I
you're doing.
I like working with them much better than a lot of the people. They don't have the same desire to do the kind of stuff that we're doing. They're like,
yeah.
I don't want to learn lines. I'm kind of in retirement, and we go, we're never going to retire. We're as long as we have some crazy idea of what to do, we're going to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, because, I can tell you about Sean's new project, and, the thing that's fabulous about it is that, first of all, we did an Indiegogo campaign, and we met, we got the money that we asked for from the Indiegogo campaign. Mm-hmm. We did the workshop, and then, which was now a week ago, for 2 weeks, we underwriting like grants to try and get grant money, right?
Right.
And he's done it, several times. Well, anyway, right as we said, it's a workshop, and $30,000 Canada Council grant to do the play in full production.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just like, this doesn't happen. This is like amazing. Like for something like what we're doing, because they give, like the Canada Council gives money to the ballet and to the opera and to the big theaters, but the fact that they gave us this money to do this crazy little play is pretty amazing. And a lot of people now, when they went, "What? You got money to do the you got a Canada Council grant? How did you do that?" Sean was absolutely determined, and he just kept working on it and working on it and working on it. So we're rather proud of that. And the play is called The Slaughter Brothers Dime Circus.
Oh, is that the new project you were telling me about?
Yeah. And I convinced him to write a part for me in it, so I'm now the clown mother.
The clown mother? You have to put on makeup?
Yeah, so I'm wearing a clown nose, I gotta tell you. Yeah. I am wearing a clown nose.
Oh, you got to post pictures of that.
Oh, yeah, we will. We got some really great ones. And we shot some video, too, so we are going to use it as a marketing tool, like to put together a really good, like, little either 3 or 5 minute video to try and sell the show, raise more money.
Mm-hmm.
And it, probably won't happen until, like, next year, next spring or something, but because there's still, there's still a ways to go on it, but we had a really good workshop. It was really, really fun. And we videoed a lot of it and took a lot of stills. So, yeah, I can definitely send you a picture. We started a clown nose.
That'd be great.
Yeah. It's kind of a little evil, too, because you know me. Well, you know how. But I can't, I've always wanted to just add that little tinge of sort of anarchy in anything I do.
Yeah, you certainly have. I can find a little bit of it in everything you've done.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, I don't know what, there's some little devil in me somewhere.
Oh, you went full devil in curtains.
Oh yeah, I went full on devil. Shall I tell you about what I just shot this weekend?
Of course, if you're allowed to.
Of course I'm allowed to. He's posted it on Facebook already.
Okay.
It's called Spider Mama.
Spider Mama.
And it takes place in like an old age home. That the character of Spider Mama, which is played by me, she gets bitten by an atomic spider. And so then she has all these superpowers so that she can escape the rest home.
Ooh. I like that.
And we had like special effects so that I could shoot like web out of my fingers. And it worked really well. So I'm supposed to be trying to reach for the television remote. And they had it like the television pretty far away. And they had the special effects guy with these web things that they attached to my hand. And they said, what would be really great is like, you'll reach for the television remote. You can't like reach it. And the web things will shoot out. And they'll grab the remote. And you'll pull it off the television. But my moment of great pride and fame was that when we did, because they were shooting it so they can do it in reverse, right, and show the web thing shooting from my hand.
Yeah.
When we attached it to my hand and to the video remote, and I pulled it off, I caught it. I caught it in midair. So I am Spider Mama.
Nice. I like that. I think it's going to be a hit.
I think it's going to be a hit. And we're going back in to do like a lot of green screen because I have to hang from the ceiling and I have to crawl down a wall. So we're shooting more on green screen soon. But if you go on my Facebook site, you'll see he's already posted like a banner that says Spider Mama, Lynne Griffin. Anyway, it was such a great script. I had to do it. It's really fun.
Oh, that's great. I like that. Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine who, by the way, is not in show business about the screenplays I write and stuff, and he came up with this idea. He said, "You should write a story about a serial killer who gets struck by lightning, and then suddenly he has empathy."
Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh
Yeah.
my God! So then what would happen?
I don't. I don't.
You'd have to kind of dig up all the bodies that were in the backyard and give them a proper burial, or
I don't know. I don't know.
Try and give them CPR and bring them back to life as zombies.
I don't know. I already got a story where some people come back to life as zombies, but I think he was just kidding, when he said that.
But there's something really great. Like, can you imagine? So, I know I'm very curious how Zac Efron has done this movie, right, is playing Ted Bundy. But to have, like, struck by lightning, and then he's empathetic about all the killings that he's done. This is good. This is a good idea. Wow. I once had a friend who was bitten by a scorpion, and really stuck his hand into, not accidentally, obviously, into a nest of scorpions, and was bitten very badly, and was in a coma for I don't know how long enough. When he came out of the coma, he had the second sight, extra, he could read the future. No kidding. And he actually was doing that then. He was telling us reading our futures. And he knew uncanny things even about our past. But they said that with the amount of scorpion venom that entered into his body made him psychic.
Wow. That's deep.
I don't know if we can believe that, but there's another one. There's lots of stories that would be good to shoot. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this other guy has written, I don't know what he's calling it now, but I did, when I put out the idea about the, lovely little old lady who lives next door who's actually a serial killer, he's just sent me a script that he's working on about and it's great because it's sort of like that, is she or isn't she? Is she putting rat poison into her husband's soup? Is she slitting her granddaughter's neck in the closet? It's like, wow, this is good. Well, anyway, this is how I see my career going at this point. Whether it's clowning or serial killers, that's where I'm going.
Spiders, yeah, that sounds really awesome. I think Fahrenheit 451 opened that door for you.
Maybe it did, something about setting yourself on fire. You go, how do you top that? But I remember when we were talking about, I don't know whether it was with you or not, but I was talking, it might have been to Lisa Langwell, we were talking about how many ways we've died, how many ways in film we've been killed. It was a very cool conversation, because I was going, have you drowned? Yes. Have you had your throat slit? Yes. Have you been electrocuted? Yes. Have you jumped off of a building? Yes. I mean, really cool. When you think, because you look at the two of us and you go, have you talked to Lisa?
I have.
Okay.
We've been trying to make time for a second podcast, but she's been super busy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think she was doing a play. Anyway, but it was really funny conversation that the two of us sitting there going, oh yeah, well, and then it was like, I was like, yeah, but have you ever set yourself on fire? But because we look so sweet and innocent that people like to kill us and victimize us. Because that's, we're always the first one to go with the plastic bag on the head. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
So since the last time you were on, there's this game that I play with my guests, where it's 4 questions. I ask the question, you answer it, then you ask me, and then I answer it.
Oh, okay, cool.
4 silly questions. I don't even have a name for it.
Truth or dare?
Truth or
I don't know.
Lynn, are you ticklish?
Oh, extremely. Oh, dear. Yeah, I'm extremely ticklish. Now do I have to ask you a question?
The same question back, yeah.
Oh, so are you ticklish?
I'm very ticklish. I'm baby ticklish.
Isn't that interesting? And
Yeah.
some people really aren't. And I don't know how that... Plus, I must admit, I love to tickle people.
Really?
Yeah. Ask Sean.
Wow. You could tickle...
I'm always tweaking his nipples.
I love that. Oh, my God. Some of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, he doesn't... Well, he kind of knows... Like, he's... I guess because I, slapped his hand, he knows enough not to tickle me, although occasionally he likes to tickle my feet. But, full disclosure, we decided to save water that we would always shower together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you want to believe that it's because we think we should save water, you can. I mean, really, it's because it's fun to shower together. But, so he soaps me all over, and then I soap him, but I always tweak his nipple.
Nice.
And he, or I try and clean the inside of his ears and tickle his ears, and he gets all, or I stick my finger in his belly button. He gets so freaked out.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, I guess he's really ticklish, but it's specific places that I know now, after 30 years, I know on his body that he's ticklish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hit me with the next one.
Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
It's an innie. What's yours?
An outie.
Wow. Do you know that Sean's going to kill me for telling you this, but when I met Sean, he had an outie, and I used to call, you know what a fiddlehead fern is? Do you know when a fern starts? When a fern, before it's actually unfurled, right, into a fern, it's this little funny curly-Q thing, and it's a delicacy on the east coast of Canada that you gather these things while they're still in their little knobby form, and that you boil them and eat them like that. I don't know what, I've had them. They're not particularly tasty. But anyway, it looks like if you can imagine a fern, when it's all curled up into a little ball, it's actually quite cute. Anyway, his belly button looked like that, when we met. But over the years, it's gone in.
Huh.
And he says it's because he's gotten fatter. I mean, Sean, fat. Sean is the skinniest person in the world. But, I mean, he does now get a little tiny bit of a belly. But it popped in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine's a little bit in from all my surgeries I had and stuff.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know, why because most babies still have outies.
Yeah.
And then I guess I don't know why some go in and some don't. Great conversation. Okay, ask me the next one.
Okay. What color are your toenails painted?
Oh, they're bare. They're bare. They're usually blue.
Yeah.
But because the weather's been so crummy here, I mean, we haven't really had spring yet. I mean, this week is supposed to rain and be cold all week. May has been a total bummer. May has not had the sun shining. The sun was shining a bit today, but for the most part, April was crummy. May, this whole first week of May has been crummy. And so I don't usually paint my toenails until I can wear sandals. But it's been so cold. I mean, I've been still wearing my boots. So my poor little toes are au naturel at the moment. But I was just talking to, because I was saying to this director today how I wanted to do the first scene barefoot. Mm-hmm. He said, "Oh, really? Really? You do?" And I went, "Yeah, because it's in a cemetery. I want to be barefoot." And I said, "It's really because I want to paint my toenails red." Anyway, okay, what color are yours?
I painted mine blue-green when I went out to L.A. a couple weeks ago.
See, that's my favorite color. It's like, yeah. Didn't we share pictures of our toes?
Yes, we did.
Did you have, and I had blue, right?
Yeah.
Like a blue-green.
You had blue-greenish, yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite color. And and Sean calls them, poor Sean's going to kill me. He's going to kill me when he hears this. He kept going, are you Brutus or are you Bertos? Brutus or Bertos? And I go, I would like to be Brutus. Does that make any sense to you? Blue toes, bare toes?
Yeah.
We say it with a Russian accent. It sounds funny.
And now here's my favorite question.
Okay, uh-oh.
It's so unpredictable, it could be anything. Is there a stinky smell that makes you gag?
Probably, well, baby poo. See, people think, like friends of mine who have babies think it's adorable.
Yeah.
But baby poo is disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Now, I don't know whether it really would make me gag, but it certainly would. I suppose if I had to change a diaper, 5 times a day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't volunteer to change diapers with baby poo. The other thing that I really think would make me gag is creamed corn that comes in a can.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting one. The first couple of months I was out of the hospital, I won't go into detail about it because it's been known to make people gag, this story. I had really bad athlete's foot when I got out of the hospital.
Oh, wow.
That was the absolute worst. Yeah.
How horrible.
Yeah.
And did you contract it at the hospital?
Yeah, they wouldn't change the socks I was wearing during the last month I was there. Yeah, my feet were all black afterwards and stuff.
Oh,
it was bad. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that smell would make you gag.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, and especially when it's your own body too. You're going, please God. Yeah, I mean, oh my God. Yeah, so, I think I dated a guy once that had athlete's foot, and when he took his sneakers off, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. I played sports in high school, never got athlete's foot once until that time.
Isn't that funny? Like at a goddamn hospital, you get it.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a lot.
Well, I caught pneumonia at a hospital when I broke my nose, and I went to the hospital to have it reset, whatever, and have it all kind of cleaned up. Mm-hmm. And then I was sent home, and my temperature skyrocketed. And so my mom took me back to the hospital, and I had pneumonia, and I also had contracted hepatitis.
Oh, my God.
But I got both the pneumonia and the hepatitis from the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And how old were you?
Oh, I don't know, 12.
Wow. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, and I turned all yellow and everything. It was creepy. And then I had to be in hospital like for a week or more because of the sickness that I got from being in the hospital.
Wow.
Because I just had a broken nose. It shouldn't have been that bad. Mm-hmm. I should have had, they clean it up and they send you home, put a big plaster on it and send you home.
I've had my nose fractured from getting into a fight with my mom's ex, and I had a really bad headache afterwards that lasted all day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I once did something really stupid. I was cleaning the oven. Mm-hmm. And, they have, that, like, whatever easy off spray. But the nozzle was facing the wrong way, and I sprayed it into my eyes.
Oh.
And I had a migraine like you would
I'm sorry, that is funny.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I think Sean was with me, too, and it was literally like putting me in, the darkest room he could find and putting cold clouds on my head and, rinsing out my eyes, calling the doctor, what should we do?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Stupid. The kind of accidents you have at home that you just go, that was really dumb.
Well, Lynn, let me tell you these couple of jokes really quickly, and then...
Okay, good. Yeah, joke time.
I got 15 minutes until I got to talk to somebody else.
Okay.
All right. How do you make your wife scream twice?
I don't know. How do you make a wife scream twice?
You fuck her up the ass and then wipe your dick on the curtain.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, unless she likes that. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. Never been tested, let's just say. Anyway. Yes, that's a very funny joke. God.
Okay.
But the wiping on the curtains, God, Jesus. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's going to leave a really bad stain.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. It's using the curtains as toilet paper. Right?
Okay. Cinderella is about to go to the ball, and she's on her period, and Fairy Godmother gives her these magic tampons and says, okay, you can go to the ball, but you have to be home by midnight or else they will turn into a pumpkin. She says, okay, Fairy Godmother, I will. So 12:30 rolls around. Cinderella has not shown up, and Fairy Godmother's pacing around the house angry. But then Cinderella does show up at 4 a.m. stumbling drunk. And Fairy Godmother's like, where were you? You were supposed to be home at midnight. And Cinderella's like, I'm so sorry, Fairy Godmother. I met this great guy. His name was Peter Peter.
Got it.
That's one you can tell your girlfriends when you have a dinner party.
Well, that one's not that gross. Well, maybe it is. Really think about it. Depends on whether the tampons were used.
Oh my God.
They're two funny words there because they've got the funny P, like tampon, pumpkin. You could mix them up easily.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a fairly clean one for you, isn't it?
It is, but I just love that one. It's just,
yeah, no, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any for you. I mean, the one that I still love the most was told to me by a 6-year-old boy. And he just said to me, why do girls wear makeup and perfume?
Why?
You say, why? Because they're ugly and they stink. From a 6-year-old kid, little boy.
Oh my God.
I thought, wow. You're going to really win the women, aren't you?
Yeah. He's
They're going to love you when you get to be 20.
He's going to be the...
Ugly and they stink, but actually, it's true.
He's going to be the next misogynistic president.
Exactly. Oh, God. Oh,
Well, Lynn, I think, it's fun. I think we reached a breakthrough in our friendship today because you revealed so much to me. And
I revealed so much to you about Sean. Tell him not to listen because he'll be mad. Oh, he knows everything. And you can interview Sean and you can ask him for the most intimate detail if you like.
Really?
And I'm sure he won't be as revealing as I am. But he's not home, so I can say anything I like about him. Anyway, it's always great to talk to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Lynn. Yes, maybe I will. Maybe I will talk to Sean again, and I'll ask him where to find your G-spot.
Oh, good. Yeah, the answer. That's the answer. And if he doesn't, then it's time for getting divorced. No, I'm absolutely sure he knows the answer to that question. He may not know what color my toothbrush is, but he will know that. Do you know when you go to get your green card and they're interviewing you and you have to be interviewed, and because they have to really know that you're really married to this person that you're marrying, because he's American and you're Canadian, they actually asked me what color his toothbrush was.
Oh, really?
And then he has to come in the room, and then he has to come up with the same answer. I mean, is that ridiculous or what?
Yeah, that'd be everywhere you go now. There's stupid shit like that.
I know, crazy. Well, because there were so many people that were marrying Americans just so they could get their green card, right? And go and live in LA and be movie stars or whatever. But I just thought that was like because obviously they want to know if you've ever been a member of the Communist Party or if you've ever been arrested. But then, what is the color of your fiance's toothbrush? Okay. I go, yeah, okay, we're done here.
Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you, Tommy. Take care. Always a pleasure.
Okay, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Lynne Griffin. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Lynn. I'm glad. I just love it when we talk. It's always so much fun and entertaining. Canadians rock my world. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.